Minister of Education.
Thank you, Speaker. I stand today to recognize May as Sexual Assault Prevention Month in Ontario. Every day in Canada, women of every age and background are victims of sexual violence. Monsieur le Président, une femme sur trois dans ce pays sera victime de violences sexuelles durant sa vie. 1 in 3 women in this country will experience sexual violence in their lifetime. Mr. Speaker, 1 in 3. Just think about that shocking statistic. Think of 3 women in your life. Now absorb that number. Pretty startling, isn't it? In 82% of cases, women are violated by someone they know, and very often, someone they trust. As a society, as parents, as siblings, as friends, we need to provide young women with the knowledge to recognize and protect themselves from the danger of sexual assault. Nous devons affirmer que la violence sexuelle sous toutes ses formes est inacceptable et qu'elle ne sera pas tolérée en Ontario. We need to affirm that sexual violence in any form is not acceptable and will not be tolerated in Ontario. Sexual Assault Prevention Month is a time to do this. It's also time to thank the dedicated women and men in every community who are working to end sexual violence. Sexual Assault Prevention Month is a time to recommit our support to victims of this intolerable crime. And it is a time for each of us to ask what it means to prevent and react to sexual violence if we ever experience it as a bystander. Just over a year ago, our government brought forward Changing Attitudes, Changing Lives, Ontario's first sexual violence action plan. Le plan a été conçu à l'issue de consultations dans des collectivités de toute la province avec plus de 350 survivantes, fournisseurs de services et spécialistes des secteurs de la santé, de l'éducation et de la justice. The plan was developed after consultation in communities across the province with more than 350 survivors, service providers, and experts in the health, education, and justice sectors. At that time, Jacqueline Banjon, president of the Ontario Coalition of Rape Crisis Centres, said, "We are pleased that survivors' voices were included in the consultation process into the development of Ontario's Sexual Violence Action Plan. Their perspective is key to understanding the issue of sexual violence in an effort to make the lives of women safer in the future." La voix et l'expérience des survivantes sont centrales à ce plan et nous continuerons à d'accorder la priorité à leurs conseils. The voices and experiences of survivors were front and center to this plan, and we will continue to make their advice our priority. Since the plan's launch last March, we have provided increased funding to Ontario's sexual assault centres to help them respond better to women in their communities. We've trained more than 100 Crown attorneys, sexual assault workers, nurses, and police officers to help them better understand the impact of sexual violence on victims. We've convened an international forum which brought together experts on aging and sexual violence to discuss the impact of sexual violence on older women. We supported the development of standards of care for hospital emergency rooms and hospital-based sexual assault and domestic violence treatment centres to better support victims. We set up a French language services working group to improve programs and supports to address the unique needs of Francophone women who have experienced violence. We've funded Aboriginal organizations to address the needs of women experiencing sexual violence in Aboriginal communities. We've established a human trafficking advisory committee and invested in initiatives to improve supports to victims of human trafficking. And we've supported the development of sexual violence prevention public education materials. Later this month, I will announce another important initiative that will better support victims of sexual violence whose first language is not English or French. As we continue to move forward with our Sexual Violence Action Plan, I am confident that we are on the right path. Community by community, together with our partners, we will begin to erase sexual violence from our province's future. There is more to be done to protect women from sexual violence. We all share a responsibility to stop this unacceptable crime. En œuvrant de concert au sein du gouvernement et avec nos partenaires communautaires, les survivantes, la police et même les spectateurs, nous parviendrons à mettre un terme à la violence sexuelle. And by working together across government with community partners, survivors, police, and bystanders, we will put an end to sexual violence. Speaker, thank you.